banks are lining to get the money. And I would literally wake up every day to a document that were called urgent payment sheet, and I had an amount of money that I had to acquire.
Picture this, Billy says, his words tumbling out fast. A private island, supermodels, music legends, the most exclusive festival the world has ever seen. He's been here before, pitching the impossible, conjuring dreams out of nothing but confidence and a half-built website. But this time, it's different. This time, the world is listening. Andy King, a veteran event producer, remembers the first time Billy sold him the vision. It sounded crazy, Andy would later say, but sometimes crazy is what makes history. There's a magnetic pull to Billy. He makes you want to believe. Even the skeptics around the table find themselves nodding. One investor asks, "How soon can you deliver?" Billy flashes a grin. "We launch this summer, and trust me, no one's ever seen anything like it." For every big promise, there's a shadow. The team is running on caffeine, adrenaline, and blind faith. A staffer whispers in the hallway, "Does he really have the money?" Someone else shrugs. "He always finds a way. You just have to believe." But outside the bubble, reality ticks on. Investors want numbers, not dreams. Vendors want cash, not promises. Billy moves faster, talks louder, pushing every limit. In these moments, you can almost feel the energy shift. Billy's dream is now viral, and no one, least of all, Billy, can afford to slow down. But with every big dream for sale, a bigger shadow waits on the other side. "Remember, we're making history," he tells his team, barely pausing to breathe. It starts out almost believable. There are conference calls at sunrise, spreadsheets, plans sketched out on cocktail napkins. A project manager flies in from Miami promising, "We'll fix it, we always do." But then the lies start to slip in, soft at first, then bolder. Billy boasts about buying Pablo Escobar's island, until the owner finds out and cuts the deal, kicking the festival off the land. No one tells the public. The website still says private island. The dream stays alive, at least online. There's never enough money. Vendors demand deposits. Crew members quit mid-meeting. Still, Billy's voice fills the void, urgent, hopeful, addictive. "We can't stop now, we're too far in. Imagine how it'll look on Instagram." Team morale shifts, excitement turns to worry, then exhaustion. A designer mutters, "It's all smoke and mirrors," but no one wants to be the one to pull the alarm. Andy King, loyal to the end, tries to steady the ship. "Billy, we need to slow down, pay the bills, set expectations." Billy waves him off. "If we slow down, we lose everything. The hype machine won't stop. Influencers keep posting. Ticket sales soar." Billy watches the numbers climb and tells himself, "We're almost there." But beneath the surface, the foundation is cracked. A vendor emails, "No payment, no delivery." A staffer, "Billy, we're out of time." Billy, "Trust me, something will come through." Somewhere, a generator sputters out. In a luxury villa that doesn't exist, the air hangs heavy with hope and denial. Paradise is just out of reach, but the lies are closing in, fast. It starts with a whisper, then becomes an earthquake. According to a recent survey, 63% of Gen Z say they trust influencer endorsements over traditional advertising. But what happens when trust is for sale? Within hours, FOMO takes over. Teens, young adults, even Wall Street brokers scramble for tickets, convinced this is the party of a generation. Memes, reaction videos, Reddit threads explode. Who's going to fire? Is this the new Coachella? The official Fire Festival ad drops models, run on beaches, swim in turquoise water, make bonfires on the sand. "Join us in paradise," the voiceover purrs. But behind the scenes, the hype is a mask for chaos. For weeks, the fire dream feeds on itself. No one wants to be left behind. A recent study found that nearly 70% of Americans in their 20s feel serious anxiety if they miss a social event others post about. Even those with doubts quiet them, afraid to spoil the party, afraid to look foolish, afraid to say the emperor has no clothes. Meanwhile, the island is nowhere close to ready. Billy and his team buy time with posts, contests, and countdowns. The festival becomes a digital mirage. The more people believe, the less anyone dares to question. And so the shadows grow one orange tile at a time. But the dream unravels before they even leave the tarmac. The bus ride is bumpy, long, silent, punctuated only by nervous laughter and the thump of EDM leaking from someone's headphones. They arrive at dusk. The orange light is gone. In its place, disaster. Rain starts, sudden and cold, tents leak, suitcases are soaked. One girl weeps quietly, mascara streaking. A group of friends tries to make jokes. Well, it'll be a story to tell, right? But their voices crack. Billy and his team are nowhere to be found. The locals pack up and leave before dark. The festival's concierge hands out tequila shots and shrugs. The only music is the sound of wind and confusion. In a matter of hours, paradise became purgatory. But the worst was still to come. After witnessing the fire festival unravel in real-time cheese sandwiches, rain-soaked tents, and broken promises, you might feel like your brain could use a reset. Sometimes, after watching a train wreck, the best thing you can do is step back and take care of yourself. That's why I recommend 2 reads that offer the calm you won't find at a failed music festival. A luxury item called Me is like your own VIP pass to self-care page after page of simple, grounding ways to rediscover your worth, even when reality doesn't match the hype. And if you want a story with suspense and closure, something the Fire Festival never gave, Just Hear Me Out is a short, emotional novella that balances dramatic twists with real moments of peace. Perfect for those nights when you need to let the world slow down. You'll find the links below. Treat your mind to the real luxury it deserves: clarity, rest, and a break from the noise. Across the ocean, headlines explode. Fire fraud. Festival from hell. News vans line up outside Billy's Manhattan office. Social media is a wall of outrage, memes, and schadenfreude. Billy tries to hold it together. He calls investors, promises refunds, asks for one more chance, but nobody's listening. His friends start to disappear. His staff, those who aren't stuck on the island, scramble to erase any trace of their involvement. In interviews, event producers confess what they all suspected for weeks. We knew it couldn't work, we just hoped we'd get lucky. The psychological toll is immense. According to a recent study, over 70% of millennials report intense regret and anxiety after witnessing or being part of a public failure online. For the fire team, denial and hope flicker out. Billy's ambition, his relentless need to be the next big thing, has burned through every bridge, every bank account, every ounce of trust. A former staffer, voice trembling, says, "I thought we were building something legendary. Instead, I lost my job, my savings, and my trust in people." Billy's shadow. The dark side of ambition has swallowed the light. Narcissism becomes isolation. Denial becomes despair. The world watches as the millennial Gatsby faces his reckoning. And in the ashes, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Chasing the world's approval is the fastest way to lose yourself. The FBI is relentless. Lawsuits pile up by the dozens, then the hundreds. According to court records, more than 200 million in claims flood in from victims, partners, and unpaid workers. The prosecution lays it out. Fabricated documents, false promises, money moved in circles, never landing where it was supposed to. Billy's defense is thin. "I just wanted to make something amazing." The courtroom is silent. Psychologists weigh in on the spectacle. According to Jungian analysis, unchecked ambition often blinds us to consequences until karma steps in. The bigger the illusion, the harder the fall. A new study in Psychology Today reports that public shaming for failed dreams triggers isolation, anxiety, even trauma, not just for the leader, but everyone caught in their orbit. Even Ja Rule, Billy's celebrity partner, backs away. "I was hustled too." Trust evaporates. The music industry distances itself. The world moves on. But for the thousands who lost time, money, dignity, the wound lingers. Billy's final words at sentencing: "I lied to myself before I lied to the world. I thought if I could just keep moving, I'd find a way out. I was wrong." In the end, karma doesn't always arrive on schedule, but it never forgets an address. After watching a dream collapse and seeing how ambition can spiral into regret, it's only natural to wonder, what do you do when the world's spotlight fades and you're left picking up the pieces? Here's the truth. You can't rebuild your reputation overnight, but you can start with yourself. That's why I created the Unleashing the Power of Self-Discipline worksheet, a real-world blueprint to turn chaos into clarity and ambition into healthy momentum. Inside, you'll find step-by-step routines, guided reflections, and proven exercises that help you break the cycle of procrastination and rebuild habits you can trust, even after everything goes sideways. So if you're serious about learning from failure, bouncing back from setbacks, or simply getting your focus back, scroll down, click the link, and download your worksheet today. Because the real comeback story starts with you. In the weeks after Fire Festival, lawsuits continue, but so do the stories. For many, the fallout isn't just about money, it's about trust. One former social media manager confides, "I kept thinking if I just worked harder, if I just believed more, maybe I could make it real. But at some point, you have to face the truth. You can't manifest your way out of a lie." According to a recent study, more than 60% of young Americans say their greatest regret isn't losing money, but losing faith in their own instincts. It's a lesson as old as time. Chasing someone else's dream can cost you your own. The fire disaster is just one in a long line of spectacular failures. Elizabeth Holmes, Adam Newman, and others who promised paradise but left only ashes. Psychologists call it the shadow self, the hidden side of ambition. When we ignore warning signs, chase validation, or let FOMO make our choices, the shadow grows. But the good news, shadows only exist where there's light. Slowly, survivors find meaning. Some use their experience to warn others, giving talks at schools, writing articles, joining movements for consumer protection. Others simply move on, stronger and wiser, their scars reminders of the price of ignoring their own gut. Forgiveness comes eventually unevenly. A few staffers even visit Billy in prison. "I wanted to see if he was still selling the dream," one says. "He wasn't, he was just human like the rest of us." Because sometimes the greatest healing comes from facing your own shadow and daring to begin again. Fire Festival is over. Billy McFarland is just another inmate number. The headlines have faded. Social feeds move on. But the lesson? It keeps coming back every time we click on a new dream, every time we chase a shortcut or believe the next big pitch. What if fire wasn't just Billy's story? What if it was a mirror, a warning about the dangers of ambition untethered from reality, of following hype over honesty, of mistaking FOMO for fate? Maybe the real fire isn't out there on some distant island, but inside us all, the longing to matter, to stand out, to be part of something legendary, even if it burns. Psychologists say we're all vulnerable to it. According to recent research, almost 80% of Americans admit to ignoring their own doubts at least once when chasing a dream, but every dream leaves a shadow, and every shadow, faced honestly, can become the start of something wiser. So the next time you see a perfect pitch, pause. Ask yourself, what's the story behind the story? What part of me wants to believe, even when the signs say, turn back? What am I chasing and is it really mine? Maybe the real lesson of fire is simple. Don't just watch the fire, learn from it. And above all, keep searching for your own truth, even if it means letting a fantasy go. If this story resonated with you, subscribe for more true tales where psychology meets ambition, and where the shadows we face become the wisdom we carry forward. Did you ever stare into dying embers still warm, still glowing, and wonder how something that burned so bright could vanish without a trace? That's fire's real afterimage. Not FEMA tents or court dates, but a coal it left inside thousands of people. The ache to be chosen, to taste paradise first, to prove, if only for a weekend, that life can look like an advert. Maybe that coal is glowing in you right now. You feel it when a countdown timer turns red, when an influencer whispers, "Trust me," when your thumb hovers over buy now just one heartbeat too long. The ember flares, promising significance, and you think, maybe this one really is my turn. But here's the secret no algorithm will show you. Paradise is never a place, it's a mirror. Whatever hunger you carry into it, ego, emptiness, fear stares straight back in neon. Fire handed out those mirrors like VIP wristbands. Some people shattered them and bled. Some kept chasing the next reflection. A quiet few did something harder. They sat with the shards until they could name the shadow staring back. That's the work hype can't sell you. Tonight, before another feed refreshes, try it. Sit in a dark room for 60, maybe 90 seconds. No music, no scrolling. Feel the ember of wanting in your chest. Listen to what it's really asking for. Attention, escape, maybe just proof you're still alive. Then answer it yourself softly, honestly until the ember cools. When emptiness is no longer the enemy, nobody can sell you a fantasy you don't need. Launch drops feel lighter. Orange tiles look like what they are, pixels. The surf rises and falls. One gull circles silent. If you stayed past the fire, thank you. Meet me in the quiet after the flames, where real stories begin and no wristband is required.